Around 9 a.m. we were picked up from home by a minibus. This took us to Cheveley service station to await the arrival of the main coach. After the luggage was loaded, off we went to arrive in Portsmouth at about 11 a.m. Just enough time to explore some of the seafront attractions. The old customs house was, until 1986, the shore-based establishment of HMS Vernon. The spinnaker is a 170 metres tall landmark observation tower. It's the centrepiece of Portsmouth Harbour. Its shape was chosen by Portsmouth residents. It was opened on the 18th of October 2005. Soon we were boarding our ferry to take us to the Isle of Wight.
Welcome to Wight. The Captain of St Clair would like to draw your attention to this important safety announcement.
We docked at Ryde and our coach took us on to our hotel in Sandown. No, this isn't our coach, which is a green one if you remember. Our first view from the hotel was a rather dull seascape with choppy seas. Naturally, we were looking forward to our evening meal and were really impressed with the menu. Luckily, the fare certainly lived up to the promises. After the meal, being very tired from the long journey, we retired to our cosy bedroom. Tuesday morning we woke to the sun shining through our bedroom window, boding well for the day. We wondered what the breakfast menu would be. The morning trip was to Shanklin, just along the coast, where we found a small park to explore.
Take that to the side and I'll stand with Jeanette. Jeanette, can you come and stand with me? I will carry you off things.
We then explored the town where we found the pavements were marked with 2-metre circles, this to remind us to keep our distance.
I'm not coming out when it's raining.
Off to the Needles for lunch via the coast road. We managed to find a good vantage point to take a photo or two of the Needles and the cliffs. This is where the well-known coloured sands can be found. We also found an interesting plinth commemorating the discovery of wireless telegraph by Marconi. After that, a bus trip to Yarmouth, where we were ready for a cup of tea and a walk along the pier. After our evening meal, entertainment was in the form of a singer, but due to COVID rules we were not allowed to sing or dance. This was surprisingly hard to adhere to. After breakfast, our bus took us to Cowes. There we had a boat trip round Portsmouth Harbour where the stars on view were the Queen Elizabeth and Prince Charles aircraft carriers.
Missiles. The U-shaped holders just forward of the bridge, these are where the McDonnell Douglas Harpoon missiles are fired from. 2 torpedo tubes under the canvas cover, just under the bridge wing, there's 2 each side. With a crew of 181 officers and men, 2 Lynx Mark 9 helicopters at the after end, powered by a Rolls-Royce Spey engines, top speeds in excess of 30 knots.
Despite the adverse weather, the trip was very interesting and the announcer very knowledgeable. But I suppose that's his job, he's done it thousands of times.
Coming back down towards the Queen Elizabeth, the first of the 2 carriers. Queen Elizabeth now has her continuous ship line. She's like to live on she's out. S-35B Lightning 2 ship, Lord Nelson's flagship of the Battle of Trafalgar. Laid down in Chatham in Kent in
The sun came out as we arrived back at our hotel for a late lunch. From the hotel window, I managed to get this interesting quick shot of this solitary surfer doing his bit. After lunch we met up with Jean's friends and we enjoyed a cream tea in the cafe on Sandown Pier. Following a very tasty breakfast, our coach took us to Rosemary's Vineyard. Here we saw a short video on the production of wine from the grapes grown in the adjoining fields. It was also possible to taste a selection of wines and perhaps even purchase any you liked. Ryde was the next town to visit for a lunch stop. Here we had time to walk to the seafront and enjoy the sea breeze. Here we found a very nice cafe with a view of the road. It was interesting to spot the Isle of Wight buses in their green livery passing by. The last visit of the day was to the village of God's Hill. Here we saw the much photographed cottages with the church in the background. Before the evening meal, we walked along Sandown seafront, noticing the interesting plaques on the sea wall. Now back to the hotel for the evening meal with a game of bingo before retiring for the night. Friday morning our cases were outside our rooms by 7 a.m. The porters were local schoolboys who had to be at school early. We left at 9:30 for the ferry to the mainland, calling in at Newport, the capital of the island. Here we stopped for a little retail therapy. The ferry left from Fishbourne, taking us to Southsea. Here we had time for a quick snack. This we ate away from the elements in a shelter overlooking the Solent. Whilst we were there, a hovercraft came in from the Isle of Wight. We then headed for Cheveley service station, where our minibuses were waiting to take us home.